Hey guys, how's it going? It's Andy from MagooInvesting. Happy Thursday. Today we're going to be talking about Alibaba stock. And so this was actually a requested video, so thanks for that. And if there's a stock or a company you'd like me to go over in a future episode of Robinhood Top Stocks, please leave it in the comment section down below and I'll get to it as soon as I can. So overall, Alibaba stock, ticker symbol BABA, is one of those stocks that I'm kind of not super sure what I want to say about it overall. It's a Chinese e-commerce giant. It's kind of the equivalent of Amazon, but in China. And so from the research I've done and their business model, I think it's really interesting that they don't actually sell their own products like Amazon does. If you go on Amazon, you'll see that the top results are often from Amazon themselves selling them out. And so from what I've seen, Alibaba, the way that they make most of their money is they don't have fees for their merchants, but you can pay to promote your product on the site. And so that's how they make money. For someone that's not super connected into an industry like this, I've often talked about it's very important that if you don't really know what you're doing in a sector, to buy the giants. And so in this sense, the two that I would be looking at would be Amazon and Alibaba. There's a lot of different dynamics that can go into what you think about the future of Alibaba going forward. With the current trade war, I don't really think that that'll affect Alibaba that much, as it seems like they do most of their sales overseas and not in the US. So that's something that when I first saw this, I was like, oh, maybe that'll be important. But from what I've seen, it does not seem super important. From other videos I've talked about, you got to look at competitors. And when looking at the difference between Amazon and Alibaba, some of them, it's really clear cut between the differences between these two companies on the charts. And for a technical analysis guy like myself, someone that doesn't really look at the fundamentals of the company, it's hard for me to really pick a favorite in this sector. And so before we go and take a look on the charts, I got to say that I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so I'd highly recommend doing your own research and talking to professionals, someone that can find you the best places to put your money going forward. And so in this video, I'm going to go over the technical analysis on Alibaba stock. I'm going to see what I see on the charts, talk about any trends I see, any potential long or short-term plays I see. And then we're going to be hopping on online and checking to see what the analysts have to say for Baba stock going forward. I think it's very important for someone like myself. I'm not super connected with this sector, so I kind of want to look to see what the analysts have to say about it overall. Currently on Robinhood, it has almost 100% buy rating, and that was kind of intriguing because most of the stuff on the site, you have some of these giant companies that I feel very confident in holding, like McDonald's, which we talked about yesterday, was sitting at around a 70%, and seeing something almost at 100%, a unanimous buy, kind of surprised me a little bit. So now with that being said, let's go hop on the computer and talk about Baba stock, ticker symbol BABA. So here we are looking at Alibaba stock, ticker symbol BABA on Robinhood. As you can see, the things that really pop out, 123,000 people owning it on Robinhood, and then a 98% buy rating. So when we go to one day, stock's down a little bit. From what I've seen, it's because their Singles Day event, which seems to be their equivalent of Prime Day, was not as good as they were expecting, even though I'm pretty sure they had $32 billion worth of sales on Singles Day. So yeah, here's the news for why things missed here. And so one day it's down pretty even based off, if you take out today, pretty even, up 6% in the month, up 12% in the 3 months, 26% this year, and 56% over 5 years. So pretty good for a company that's the e-commerce giant of China. And so as we go down here, no dividend, and it has 98% buy rating and 2% hold rating. So that's pretty good. As you can see, they've been pretty good with their earnings recently, being positive, making money. And so now let's take a look on the chart. And so we'll start on the 180-day 4-hour chart. And so I came on here beforehand and charted out some important areas that I'd like to highlight. First one is the level that it recently got to, the $189 mark. And so it has touched it a couple times, most recently on the 7th of this month, and then it's come back here and it had some problems breaking above it. And when it finally did, it shot right back below it. So it seems like a pretty solid support. And so for a short-term target, that's where I would be aiming. Unfortunately, the stock is sitting not that far below it. So let's see, it's only 3.5% from here. So for what seems like a pretty decent resistance, that's something I'd be kind of worried about. Not having that much upside and buying close to resistance is usually pretty dangerous. So And then I drew some other support and resistance lines here. And then there was this ascending support line right here. This goes back further if we go back, oh, that's the 1 month, to the 1 day. As you can see, it's come back all the way to the beginning of this year. So I kind of like that pattern. The problem with this is that it's not close to this bottom edge of the support, so it doesn't seem like a great buy right now. But when we go back and look at the track record over the past couple years, you can see that things have been positive, but they were kind of horizontal for a while and then have taken off, consolidated, fallen, and it's back kind of to the early or late 2017, early 2018 days. So it has not done very well in the past couple years. As I'm not super up to date with the company and what's been happening with it, just from a technical analysis point of view, I'm not super attracted to this stock. Until it breaks above this all-time high or even just this resistance right here, I'd be kind of worried that it's going to fall back into this kind of consolidation phase of not being able to move up. So as I've mentioned in this video, short term, I'm worried right now based off the fact that it's pretty close to resistance, and then long term, if you go from the current price to the 52-week high, there's 18%, which is a nice trade. But until it breaks above this resistance right here, I would be hesitant taking a position. Now let's go look to see what the experts have to say. And before I show this, be in for kind of a surprise. So if you see those numbers right there, I'm assuming something's wrong here. Based off the fact that the price forecast, the upper edge is up almost 1,000%. Seems pretty unrealistic if you ask me. It does seem they're very bullish on it overall, but man, this price forecast, I'm really hoping that something is messed up. I really don't know what to say about this just because it looks ridiculous. With the median being up 750%, there's no way that that's possible. As I said, it's pretty close to its 52-week range, not super attractive to me, but up 33% year to date, pretty nice. And so let's go to Yahoo Finance. And so they're kind of on the same page of it's a buy, it's undervalued, up in the short, medium, and long term. And their 1 year price target is more realistic to the 223, which I believe is pretty close to the 52-week high. It's slightly higher than that. So they're not on the 900% potential for a price forecast, but they are still bullish on it overall. And so for a company like this where you're looking at a giant in their sector, I'd highly recommend doing research on what their company is really about. In the US, I'm very up to date on what Amazon does, but I don't see as much stuff on Alibaba. So that's kind of why I'm hesitant making any claims on where I think the company could be going, just because I don't really know what they're doing as a company. I recently talked about Disney, very up to date on what Disney is doing at a company, and even though I'm not a fundamental trader, I know what they've recently been working on, what they've been releasing, and just kind of know what the company is about. And I can't say the same for Alibaba. So I think it's a very interesting prospect going forward. I would love to see up almost 1,000% in the next 12 months. Probably not the case, but I think it probably is a good long-term investment. It's just not something I'm really looking for, as I am not confident in the stock, and it's not on a discount right now. That close to a 52-week range, not attractive to me, but that's just the type of investments I'm looking for. Plenty of other people could think this is a very attractive trade, so let me know what you think. And so overall, Baba stock is not the type of stock I'm really looking to invest in. As I've talked about, my criteria for taking a position is something that I use and I'm a fan of. This is not the case for Alibaba. It has to have recently been hurt by bad earnings or bad news. It's pretty much sitting kind of close to its 52-week high, so it's not really on a discount. And 3, it's got to have reached a support and has since built off of that and pushed up. You can kind of say that there was the rising support level that I drew on the chart, which you could talk about as a potential for that criteria being met. But overall, when all 3 are not met and it's a company that I'm not super confident in, or I don't know a lot about the company, kind of makes me hesitant. But after seeing 98% buy rating on Robinhood, the price forecast, which I think something may be wrong on that, because that type of returns on a stock does not seem super likely. But even Yahoo Finance has it up in the short, medium, and long term. So for someone like myself that is looking for companies on a discount, not really what I'm looking for, but for a long-term investment, it seems like Alibaba would be a good idea. So let me know what you think about Alibaba stock, ticker symbol BABA. As I've said a bunch of times in this video, not super confident on their product, and as a result makes me very hesitant in taking a position or making these claims that I think that Baba is a great investment going forward. Obviously, I'd recommend doing your own research and kind of seeing all you can see on the differences between Amazon and Baba stock, as I'm sure there's plenty of differences, and for someone that is a fundamental trader and not just a technical analysis trader like myself, that'd be really important to look up. So let me know what you think about it going forward. Does it have the price forecast that the CNN has it, or is that maybe a mistake in their algorithm? I really don't know. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if there's a video or an idea you'd like me to go over in a future video, also please put that in the comment section down below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next episode of Robinhood Top Stocks. Thanks for watching.